2021 champ Billy Fling sits atop the open class. Defending champ Scott and Shane O'Rogie continue their dominance in modifieds. With the season past the halfway point and the car counts increasing, the pressure is on for these two ultra-quick competitors. Welcome one more time in 2022 to DT's Dirt Drags in Gore Springs, Mississippi, under the lights with the open class paddle tires and the modified cuts. We're going to open things up with the open class, and there's a big story developing there. Your early season points leader, Kevin Harrison, who's now sitting second in points here in the open paddle class, smashed into the guardrail during session number 2 last night in the cut tire division and bent his car in the middle, literally in the middle, damaged other parts. He and his crew, including chassis builder Eric Bidlack, worked feverishly through the night, on through the afternoon, literally right up till before they started getting cars into the staging lanes to get the rear engine rail called Never Enough from right down the road in Grenada, Mississippi. They had to run to the shop and get some parts to get it back on the track here to try to keep themselves in points, and they actually lucked out that happened this close to home. Speaking of points, there you see the points in the open class coming into tonight's action. Billy Fling leading with 535 points. Then you see Kevin Harrison. We'll see how he does here tonight, see if the car goes straight. Tyler Coolidge, part of the father and son Joel and Tyler Coolidge team out of Two Harbors, Minnesota. And you see Steve Renaud and David Hahn tied currently for 4th and 5th at 250 points. But with Steve not able to make this event, he will lose ground to David Hahn. David will overtake him before the end of the night. The question is, will anybody else overtake Steve Renaud before the end of the evening? We'll check up on the points as things develop. Right now, though, we're going to bring our first pairing to the line, and there you see the man sitting in 5th as he just arrived at those 250 points. That's why he's sitting in the number 5 spot. David Hahn out of Iwo Beach, Hawaii, by way of the state of Minnesota, in Born Free. Goes side by side with Billy Fling out of Sunbury, Ohio. That is Reality Check. Rasket Race Cars built chassis, 581 cubic inch Hemi. See what he has for David Hahn. Front engine rail versus a rear engine rail. Two very different cars in the class, but two very capable machines. Super quick for Billy Fling, a 2.14 with a 9. David Hahn, not bad considering a few problems it looked like he had on the run, a 2.28 with a 7. So a very quick class it looks like here tonight. Watching it again, it does appear like the starting line area may be a little loose. They've had some classes who ran in front of them, and they have run it up that starting line. Even though they're grooming the track, they are digging the holes deeper and deeper as the night goes on. It looked like the starting line was rutting up again like it did last night, and it is causing a few more problems than it was last night, even with these big wide paddles.
It is. You just got to get off the line. Once you get off the line, she's hooking and going.
Now, the temperature's lower, but the humidity's way higher tonight. Is that causing any problems with you guys tuning?
No, it's about the same as it was last night as far as the air is.
Are you going to change anything going into the second session? You're just going to leave it the way it is?
No, it'll lean out a little bit just because there's heat in the motor, so we'll leave it, see what we get in the other lane.
All right, Billy Fling leading the open class. We'll see if he can hold on to it going into session number 2. We'll bring our next machine to the line. There he is, Kevin Harrison. Body panels back on. The car looks all right, but it is the walking wounded tonight. There you see a very concerned chassis builder, Eric Bidlack, getting his driver and car owner, Kevin Harrison, lined up. That family has 2 vehicles in competition here tonight in the open class. They also have a short wheelbase pickup truck we'll be seeing here in just a little bit, but that big Noonan power plant definitely pushed that car hard, and with no front-wheel drive last night, he ended up striking the rail. Let's see if this thing will go straight. Moving around quite a bit in the lane, but the car actually seemed to come off the line pretty straightforward. A 2.24 with a 3. That should put him in second place for the time being, but another look at it. He launched straight. Again, though, the starting line looks like it's going away. It looked like the left rear tire actually got into some ruts, and it pulled him off to the right-hand side. Then he comes back to the left, driving the car around. It looks like he let out of it and let the car pull itself through. One more look at it in real time. Kevin Harrison, after session 1, is the car going straight, is the question.
It's going straighter. It pulled a little bit to the right, but I think it was the track, not the car. So
that's what we were wondering, because we did see you start to go off to the right, came back to the left kind of far. Were you just letting it roll out?
Yes, I done lifted when it come back to the left, but it was going to the right, so I lifted because I didn't want to repeat of last night.
What did you guys have to fix? Because we know you, Eric, the whole crew stayed up pretty much all night getting this thing back together. We know you bent the chassis.
Yes, we worked on it for all day long. I mean, non-stop. We had to put ladder bars on it. We put it broke the panhandle bar, bent the engine plates, bent the frame, but we running with bent frame, so we messed up one rim and tire. But we're gonna try it again in a minute.
All right, well, good luck in the second session. We'll see if he can pick up a little bit of time. Remember, a rail is not supposed to fly. Well, from the walking wounded, back on the starting line now with an exhausted teammate to David Hahn. That is Lou Hahn. He and David are battling fuel issues with a new injection system on the born free rear engine rail. Now Lou in his own vehicle, Wildcard. Let's see what he has here in session 1. Good launch. The car looked like it was moving toward the left, and he let out of it right before the finish line at 2.53. Not going to get him to the top of the heat, but it launched good. He should have something when he comes back in session 2. Here comes the second-generation driver in Nightmare 6. That's Tyler Coolidge out of Two Harbors, Minnesota. The rear engine rail built by Racing in the Dirt, going side by side with Will Harrison from down the road in Grenada, Mississippi, in the short wheelbase Mississippi Mafia with the battle scars on the side. That thing went through a tremendous fire out in Prague, Oklahoma, starting off the season in the OPS class. When it showed up there, it was running a 716 Texas Racing engine, now at a 526 cubic inch Brad Anderson Hemi, billet aluminum block with a 1471 blower, going up against Tyler Coolidge, Minnesota and Mississippi. Coolidge wheeling all the way down the track, a 2.2 and a 2.69 with a 3 for Will Harrison. Not what Will was looking for, but much better than he ran last night. You can see maybe some concerns here about this left lane. Again, we've been mentioning it's getting a little loose over here. Watch Tyler Coolidge one more time. He actually had to pedal that thing as it started to come over toward the center. So Kevin Harrison was right. I don't think the car launched crooked. I think it was the lane. Billy Fling currently leading the open class. Tyler Coolidge right on his heels. He's going to need to pick it up some if Fling can keep up the pace. A 2.2 in second place and a 2.24 for Kevin Harrison, with the walking wounded still doing well here near his hometown. Then it's David and Lou Hahn rounding out the top 5 after session number 1 and the open paddle class. We'll see these guys coming up again in just a little bit, but when we come back, the mods hit the track on the cut tires. Stay with us.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date info, media, and all your other Monster Truck needs, visit monstersmonthly.com. And by Crush This. For a look inside the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, a Monster Truck podcast. This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by RPM Army. For a wide array of content from across the motorsports world, visit rpmarmy.com. Your high-performance fix on the go.
Continuing action with the 2022 MRA Championship Series under the lights here in Gore Springs, Mississippi. The modified cut tire class coming to the line momentarily. There you see your points leader, Shane Olrogi, in the deranged rear-engine railed-in. It's Jason Chaya who will lose ground tonight. He will not be competing. He's here. He will pick up 5 points for his attendance, but he will not be competing on the track. Greg Martinez, who we're glad to see back at the wheel. Keith Mitchell, the ultimate flyer. We'll see if he can pick up some points tonight. And a newcomer to the class, but a strong contender, Daniel Gore. And speak of the devil, there is looking for trouble. Daniel Gore out of Spalding, Nebraska. They just debuted that car one race ago. It was built by the Racing in the Dirt Shop out of Cleveland, Wisconsin, going side by side with Fredonia, Pennsylvania's Keith Mitchell in the legendary Magician. A massive horsepower sitting behind Keith. Kind of a lopsided battle. That Denny Bloom 552 cubic inch Ford going up against a massive 960 cubic inch Sonny's power plant with a 4-stage nitrous kit. He will likely only use 2 before the end of this run. Boy, that left lane is definitely loose, and the cut tires are showing it. A 2.44 for Mitchell, a 2.74 for Care. Not too bad, only about 3/10 off of each other there. So that's an indication that the track may be going away. You can see Mitchell bouncing on through there. Had to recollect the car coming to the finish line as the car started to head left. Coming back to the line now, Jamie Suter, another guy we're glad to see back behind the wheel. He had a terrible crash in 2020 in Nice, South Carolina at the wheel of his previous pickup, which he was able to salvage a few things from, including the engine, thank goodness, because that's an expensive one. In the 65 Chevy, he goes side by side with another new machine out of the Racing in the Dirt Shop. This one, though, another guy who's no stranger to the wheel of one of these big, powerful dirt draggers. That is Kelby Ladner from right down the road in Kiln, Mississippi. The Patriot 2, a pair of classic Chevrolets on the starting line. 70s and 60s going side by side. Suter having to pedal that thing. He picked up the front end. Ladner with a red light, though, not going to get a time. A 2.76 for Suter. Going to be looking for a lot more speed coming up in the next session there as he drops back into third place. And you can see bouncing the front end on through the end zone. We'll watch it from the end zone shot. Keep your eye on Suter. Had to collect that thing. He started to head off to the left-hand side toward the guardrail. Good heads-up driving for the man out of Tennessee now. One of those beautiful machines on the premises out of Monticello, Florida. This is Jeremy Hauser in the 36 Ford called Ragged Edge, going side by side with last night's paddle tire winner, Jason Massey, a record holder in the class. Let's see if Hauser has anything for the dominant Jason Massey. Very practical machine on the right-hand side of your screen in the left lane, and a beautiful door slammer on the right-hand side of the track. When Massey was flying once he lit the pipes, a 2.47 creeping up on Keith Mitchell, a 2.61 for Hauser. So he's going to get himself in the top 5. Pair of good runs out of those guys. I know Hauser's going to be looking for more in the next session. So will Massey, but he's definitely threatening Keith Mitchell. A nice straight run for him. He did not seem to have the problems with the lane the other guys did. Kept the wheels out of the ruts. It looks like he was able to straddle the ruts there and make a nice straight run to the end of the track. Coming up next, Greg Martinez, a guy who's been out for a big chunk of this season, His vehicle was kept in the points by the guy he's going to go side by side with, who you see pulling in right now, Shane Olrogi out of Cleveland, Wisconsin in deranged. The Martinez vehicle was sent to the Cleveland, Wisconsin shop for some revamping and then showed up having had the Jeep body replaced that they ran last year with this beautiful Ford Bronco body. Greg struggling a little bit here this weekend, but again, we're glad to see him back as he recovered from back surgery. Let's see what he has for the man who kept his car in the points. Keith Mitchell sitting in the number one spot. I'm not going to try to guess whether or not you liked that run.
No, it felt pretty good. It did a little sachet. I had to drive it out the finish line, which a little nerving. That takes a little time off, but we're leading. But you know, those two guys, Shane and Massey or Jason are both coming after me for the second round. So we're trying to find a way to pick it up a little bit. We're not going to have a groomed track like we did, so that's going to benefit Shane on the second round. But we'll try to pick a good set of ruts, and hopefully we can pick up the time, or at least hold what we got. We'll see how the guys do.
Humidity's actually higher, but the temperature's down lower. That doesn't bother you nitrous guys? Does the temperature change bother with the bottles at all?
We got to monitor it. Yeah, like I say, with the moisture, it's being a little fussy tonight, but no, we're all good.
Okay. Well, Keith Mitchell leading the pack right now. We'll see if he can hang on to it when we go into session 2. We'll let Keith get back to work now as we take a look at the standings after session 1. 244 for Mitchell. Jason Massey right behind him with a 247, threatening Keith there. West Virginia coming after Pennsylvania. They don't live far apart. Definitely rivals on the track. And you notice Keith did not mention Jeremy Hauser, but Jeremy Hauser could be a threat to him tonight. Shane Olrogi and Jamie Suter looking for more, and do not count out Kelby Ladner. He can be right there with the rest of them. We'll see if Greg Martinez can step up as well, as we are not even close to done here tonight. Still a session to go in the opens and a session to go in the mods. Welcome back to Gore Springs, Mississippi on a hot, humid evening here at DT's Dirt Drags as we get things back underway with the open class, taking a look at results after session 1 in the open panels. Billy Fling leading the charge at a 2:14. Tyler Coolidge, who was fast, but he wasn't quick, at a 2:22. He's going to need to pick things up. Kevin Harrison, surprising, sitting in the number 3 position. He was definitely quick and fast as he was testing that machine to see if it would go straight. And then David and Lou Hahn rounding out the top of the field here as Tyler Coolidge pulls back to the line in Nightmare 6. 500 cubic inch Alan Johnson Performance Engine with a 1471 Whipple Supercharger up on top. Now, he was supposed to run side by side with Will Harrison, but it looks like Tyler may be making this run solo. So you notice him purge a little nitrous right there. He runs 2-step. A lot of these guys will into the back of the blower there. Beautiful pass for Coolidge. Look at that, a 2:14 with a 5 to take the number 1 spot away from Billy Fling as he just stepped past him into the top spot. That right lane is going to be the place to be tonight. And here's the problem. Billy Fling, who is so fast in session 1, is going to move over to what I believe is a slow side of the track here in the left lane as the next machine is going to stage in the left lane. It's the short wheelbase Mississippi Mafia of Will Harrison, again from right down the road in Grenada. They're Brad Anderson Hemi in this one with a 1471 Cobelco Roots blower, on that one. Blowing the tires off there on the starting line. Still runs a 2.540. So Will Harrison impressive here in session 1 in spite of being massively disadvantaged. I believe they could run paddles on this thing, but they're not taking the chance right now as they're just trying to get a feel for this vehicle with the blower on it. Now as Lou Han rolls back into the staging area in a wild card, we come back at it immediately, looking to get himself out of that number 5 position. He wants to step past his brother here in section number 2. See where he ends up. Well, he didn't wait on green. The car rolled out. The brakes didn't hold it. You saw him throw the hand up right there. Very disappointed as he red lights. He will not get a time on that run, and we go right back to it, heading to the right-hand side of the track. And this is something Billy Fling definitely doesn't need right now as he sits back there and keeps an eye on what he's going to have to do, he and his crew, to try to keep their car at the top of the fleet right now. They are leading points. They just got knocked out of the number 1 spot here as far as the times go by Tyler Coolidge, who ran on the right-hand side of the track. Again, Fling's going to come over here to the left-hand side that has not been as fast tonight. Kevin Harrison, though, going to have a lot more hook, and this thing is looking super fast. He was flying. Kevin Harrison getting a little loose there in the shutdown area. Reels it back in. Look at that, a 2-1-1. Takes the top spot with a bent chassis. Can you believe it? Watch it again. Had to be one of the fastest runs of the season as far as mile per hour, and he jumped off the starting line. Look at him trying to reel it in down there in the shutdown. Again, Kevin loves running the paddle tires. These guys said cut tires are not their favorite. They're in the paddle class, so they're very comfortable. Again, they're impressive in the cut tire class. They certainly can't be counted out, but he loves putting on those big, meaty paddles. There you see your points leader right now, Billy Fling, looking to jump back up on Kevin Harrison, who just ran a 2-2-1. A stage side-by-side with a smoking David Hahn. Fling not looking too bad over there on the slow side of the track. A 2-1-6, really not bad considering what he had to do, but needed that 2-1-4 that he ran in the early session here tonight. Another look at it. Nothing to be ashamed of here. This was a competitive class. In the open paddles, watch Fling come off the line, hooks and goes. He found a nice spot there on the starting line where everybody else was struggling as we wrap up the class. Now here's a vehicle that's not competing tonight, but another Eric Bidlack chassis, actually Jeremy Hood at the wheel of Wicked Intentions, turbocharged open class vehicle we will be seeing in competition later this year. Right now they're still testing this thing. He's from right down the road in Grenada. Let's see what he can do. Will the track hold the amount of horsepower this car is making? Just barely. Just trying to get a hole shot with this thing. He's not looking to run the whole 200-foot distance here tonight. Just seeing how the car would come off the line. Would it launch straight? It looks pretty good. He took a test run a little earlier today. Got a little bit sideways, but looking good over there on the right-hand side of the track. There you see your final results, and you had to be in the 2-1s to get in this field tonight. Kevin Harrison leading the pack at a 2-1-1 with a 7. Then Tyler Coolidge, Billy Fling, and the Hahn brothers rounding out the top 5. Will Harrison sitting down in the number 6 spot. We head down to the pits to talk to your winner, Kevin Harrison. He bounced down through the finish line there. We thought we were going to have another disaster for a second from up here. He got a little sideways.
Yeah, it was a little loose on the finish line down there. It was mile powered and pretty good. It was running on pretty good, probably 120 mile an hour or so.
What's going to have to happen to the car right now between now and the next event?
We got to redo some more ladder bars, engine plates, drive shafts. We're going to keep running the frame the rest of the year. Then we're going, this winter, redo the whole chassis.
All right, well, congratulations to you on the win tonight. Kevin Harrison keeping it on top right now in the Open Class. See if he can jump back into that points lead before the end of the year. Well, here's a look at the points as we wrap up the Open Paddle Class. Kevin Harrison keeping himself in the conversation for points for sure. He was never out of it. This one event wouldn't have stopped him. But with only 2 events to go, he needs to keep the points coming. And there you see David Hahn has overtaken Steve Renaud. Lou not able to move up to where he wanted to. He'd like to overtake Steve as well before Steve comes back on the point series. We should see Steve in Kentucky, but we may not see him till we head back to Missouri. But Billy Fling hanging on in the number 1 spot in the meantime. And that's right, Kevin Harrison said he ran 120 miles an hour heading into the shutdown area. Stay with us. The mods wrap things up when we come back to Gore Springs.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. We're at the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
Back in Gore Springs, Mississippi, as they work to cut some of the ruts out of this track, they're trying to get the lanes to come back together again. Track going away tonight. Don't take anything away from the grounds crew here. They are incredible, and we appreciate their hospitality here at DT's Dirt Drags. As always, there we take a look at the standings right now in the mod cuts. Keith Mitchell leading the charge at a 2.44, then Jason Massey at a 2.470. Creeping up on Keith. He could hurt him here in session number 2 as Jason will actually move over to the quicker lane, but so will Keith. And it's Jeremy Hauser, Shane Olrogi, and Jamie Suter rounding out the top 5 here in the modified cut class as we get ready to head back to the line. None other than Shane Olrogi and the Racing in the Dirt Built to Range. That's their home shop up there in Cleveland, Wisconsin, and he is going to go side by side just as he did in session 1 with the guy whose car he kept in the championship hunt. Earlier, we got a chance to talk with Greg Martinez. Greg Martinez in the Scream Machine. Ran OPS last night. It's good to see you back out here. A few runs on the car. How's everything going?
We're doing pretty good. We're getting the hang of it now. This is the 4th pass we have on it, so we're pulling data out of it, getting it tuned right for the altitude, for the humidity we have over here. But it's running faster and faster every time we run it. So we're real happy with the work that Shane's done to it and continues to work on it.
How's this humidity comparing to back home? You came a long way to race. You got to go even further to race again.
We drove 15 hours to get here. Me and my boy drove 15 hours straight to get here. Come from 10% humidity to probably over 100. So it's a whole different world for us. But we enjoy it.
Well, it's good to see Greg back there in the pits, smiling as usual. Let's see what they have here in session 2. Olrogi looking a lot better there. A 2.54, not going to climb over Keith Mitchell in a 3.02. Not what Greg was looking for, but a solid run out of the Scream Machine. And again, those guys just glad to be here right now, as we were not sure if we'd see Greg Martinez back. And you may notice the camera's going in and out of focus during the interviews. It's that humid out here. We're having to wipe condensation off of our lenses literally every 5 minutes. You may even notice a little bit of mud collecting on the walls of the tires as these guys roll in. You see starting to cake up there. it's really turning into a doughy situation down there on the starting line, and that may be causing those ruts to sustain, where normally they'd be blowing dirt and dust back in there. Right now, they're just digging big holes in the moist clay on the starting line. Hauser and Massey ready to go here in session 2 as they stage up and wait for green. And that little white Ford can move. 2.65. Look at that, a 2.49 for Massey. He slows down, but he stays consistent with his session 1 time. Not going to jump over Keith, so another bullet dodged for the Magician. Not out of the woods just yet. Here comes Kelby Ladner in the Patriot 2 out of Kiln, Mississippi. Another one of the home state boys here in that beautiful Blazer out of the Racing in the Dirt shop. He goes side by side with Jamie Suter with the 65 Chevy out of Woodlawn, Tennessee. 872 Warren Morrison racing engine with a SpeedTech 4-stage nitrous system. Let's see which Chevy will come out on top. Problems clearly for Jamie Suter. He's going to be very disappointed with that. A 338. 254 for Ladner, though. Debuted that machine out in Burwell. He's not new to this sport by any means. He has his other Pro Stock Division vehicle sitting in the pits. It hasn't run this weekend, but we're glad to see both of those beautiful red, white, and blue machines on hand. Keith Mitchell still staving off the competition. It looks like he may walk out of here number 1, but he's got one more bullet to dodge, and it's the guy who's a newcomer to the class. Won the Super Stock Division earlier this evening. That's Daniel Carrier, and look at this. Keith Mitchell just had to be backed into the staging beam by his crew. So what's happening here? He just refired the car. You can see he's got his bulb lit. But what's going to happen? And he just deep staged. That's it. Keith Mitchell just DQ'd. But it's not going to matter. Daniel Carrier with a solid run, but not enough to overtake Mitchell. So Mitchell, in spite of that deep stage right there, will take the win out of the modified class. Not the way he wanted to end things up. Looks like he's going to go ahead and stage the car and just make a tuning run right now, as they already have it sitting up there on the line. Go ahead and collect a little data. A nice shot there, but that 244 from session 1 will hold up. Massey sitting at his 247. O'Rogie moved up with the 254. And you see Jeremy Hauser and Jamie Suter rounding out the top 5. You got to keep your eye, I believe, on Jeremy Hauser and Jamie Suter this year. And again, do not count out Kelby Ladner. Guys who come out of the OPS class and can definitely do some damage to these mods. One more look at the winning run for Keith Mitchell. Keith, this is a hard way to get there tonight. Everybody was struggling with the track. You got there, though.
Yeah, we got very fortunate with our round on the first round. We made it happen, and track definitely got a little bit looser second round, and nobody was able to catch us. So very fortunate. There's tough cars out there tonight, and very happy with the work the guys did and how the car performed, and we got the win.
And it seemed like you were definitely using the wheelie bar tonight.
Yeah, it both passes. It was kind of spun off the line, but boy, the hook came apparent halfway down the track, and wheelied hard out the end. But we'll take it.
All right, well, we'll see you in Kentucky.
Very good, appreciate it.
Well, I'd say it's about this time we start throwing in the towels. We're going to go grab some towels and dry off as it is humid as we end up a great night of racing here. Shane O'Rogie still leading the points. Greg Martinez, though, moves up on Jason Chaya. And it is Keith Mitchell and Daniel Carrier. Again, the newcomer moves into the number 5 spot. Very impressive season that he is having as Shane O'Rogie still on that runaway season. Not out of the woods just yet, but it's very unlikely that anybody is going to pass the dominant force here in the modified class. What an awesome evening of racing we've had. The season is not over. The next time we see it with the MRA will be in Paducah, Kentucky at the Paducah International Raceway. Short track wild action running at a concrete wall. You are not going to want to miss that one. We will see you then.